And welcome back to the WHHI Daily News. Guess who is my guest?
Yay!
Dr. Debi Lynes. Good to see you.
It is great to see you during this holiday season.
This is the Mind Your Health segment. You're on once a month, and today we're talking about gratefulness, compassion, and connections.
How interesting is that for this
For the
holiday
holiday.
season? Exactly. And you know what my first question is to all of us is when I talk about compassion, I think a lot of therapy interventions now are moving toward a compassion-informed kind of therapeutic approach. And what does that mean? It means, are you taking care of yourself? Let's talk about self-compassion first. And I think it just simply means, are you caretaking others? Are you caretaking people here at the studio? Probably. Are you caretaking of yourself?
Yeah, you know, that's so interesting because most people are always thinking about how they can help other people.
Yes.
In the meantime, they're sad or they're tired or they're not feeling, and then they run down and then they can't be
That's
a caretaker
exactly
or a
right.
caregiver for someone else. So.
And I think that that's something that we take for granted.
We do.
And I think compassion, just simply treating people the way we want to be treated, just not that hard.
Right.
And I think when we pay attention to it and bring it forward in our mind, it's much easier. The second piece is gratitude. I think from a therapeutic intervention point of view, for many therapists now, we talk a lot about being grateful. It's very easy to focus on problems
And the negative.
and the negative. And intuitively, that's what our
people
brain.
go to.
That's right. Our brains are wired to worry, so that's what I'm going to do.
Right.
But again, if I can shift that and just
Yes.
pivot a little bit and look around, what am I grateful for today? And I think coming up with a gratefulness practice can be really a wonderful way to be healthy.
And with that practice, Debi, would you write things down, you know, actually articulate, you know, all the things that I'm grateful for? I have a friend that's she and her husband have had a tough year health-wise. Seems like one thing after another. And she was over last week and I said, let's think about all the things that are good in your life. And the positiveness about getting that second opinion at MUSC or whatever. Let's you know, and then so it was kind of a pivot, and she started finally feeling okay. You're right.
Being able to see it in black and white is a really healthy way to do it. You know, I find that what mindfulness looks like in today's world is basically when you have those negative thoughts to challenge them with, what am I actually grateful for? We were just talking about it. I'm grateful to be able to sit in here 10 minutes before we started taping, sort of regrouping. It just was fun. It felt good.
Because we're making that connection.
And that's the
thing.
third piece.
And not being isolated. So many people are lonely today and isolated. So how do we make those connections?
You know, I
Debi?
think one of the biggest causes of depression and anxiety in today's world is the lack of connection. And I think connection looks different for younger people than it does for us, because oftentimes connection for you and I is face to face. Okay, and I think for kids, it can often be through social media. Is one better than the other? Well, we know evidence supports the fact that anytime we can interact together, we share what are called, this will be fun for you, mirror neurons.
Never heard of that. Mirror neurons.
What protects you and I from each other or separates us is our skin.
Okay.
Okay?
Right.
Phantom limb syndrome, where, you don't have an arm, no skin, but you can still feel things because of your brain, neurons. So when you are connected with someone, you're actually sharing neurons and you're getting energy from that person. I mean, this is worth talking about again, but look up mirror neurons. I think it'd be really interesting.
So we've talked about gratitude and gratefulness. We've talked about compassion.
Yes.
And we've talked about making those connections. And I'm just going to add something, love. And, you know, telling the people, like when I leave to come to work, telling my husband, I love you. You know, because you never know. Every day's a gift.
It really is.
Right.
Thank you for the gift of coming on and doing Mind Your Health. I'm very grateful.
Well, we're grateful for you. Thank you, Dr. Debi Lynes. Thank you very much. And thank you all for watching this edition of WHHI Daily News. Stay safe and healthy, everyone, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.